Hello everybody, it's Wendy and today I'm back with a bracelet tutorial to match this pair of earrings and this necklace made using products from the Bargain Bead Box March 2021 edition. So did these earrings, well first we did this necklace right here, and then did these earrings to match, and today we're going to make a bracelet. So let me uncover this. Voila. And we have a bracelet we're going to make. So what you're going to need if you want to make this is you're going to need the big focal coin bead from the Bargain Bead Box this month. Now I am orienting it this way, obviously, horizontally, so that it will be like a bracelet, little focal here. I'm using some of the 4 of the large jade beads. And I ran out of these little spacers, which I loved, but I ran out of them. So I have these square spacers. I know they're not exactly the same, but these are from Michaels, and I'm just going to use them because they are similar, okay? And then on the other side, I've got my agate beads and my jade beads, some more of the spacers. I'm using the toggle from the box this month. And make sure that this is on camera. Okay, sorry. I have several wire guardians, several eye pins. I have some twisted jump rings here that I'm going to connect because we're going to do 2 strands on this side and 1 on this side. So I'm going to use these jump rings to connect my strands to my toggle piece here. And then I have several crimp tubes, small crimp tubes for crimping the tiger tail. And I've got 3 pieces of tiger tail cut. And these are just like 6 to 8 inches each. I like to have extra in case. I mean, I've done it too short before and that's really aggravating. So I cut them a little bit long and then I just save the little scrap pieces for other things. Okay, so I think that is everything you're going to need. You're definitely going to need your jewelry tools, but I think that's everything. So the first thing I've done is I have taken this coin bead and I have cut the loop off of this dangle that was in the box. So I did that as well on this piece. I used one dangle on this side and one on this side. I just cut the loops off to give a little decorative element. And on the earrings, I used these same dangles. Now I've only got this one left. So I cut the loop off of it and we're just going to use it because this will be on your wrist, and even if it flips when you put it on, it's not going to flip. It's going to lay how you put it on. So that's how we're going to do that. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is we're going to make this little focal bar, focal centerpiece, whatever you want to call it. So I'm going to use 2 of these on each side. Okay, put my little bar or my eye pin through there. And 2 on this side, and then I'm just going to make a loop. Now you want to do this pretty tight. Number 1, it will help it to keep from spinning, and number 2, it'll keep things from flopping on there because you want it to stay pretty tight. You don't want them to flop around too much. Okay, so I try to go right above my little pieces here, my little spacers, and bend that as close to them as I can get it. And I do bend a pretty sharp 90-degree angle. Okay, and then I'm going to take my cutters, cut this off, and I don't cut off a big amount. I mean, I don't leave a big amount because I want my loop to be kind of tight. And then I'm going to go a little bit up on these because these make such tiny loops. I'm going to go a little bit up because I kind of want it to match the other loop on the other end. And let's see, right about here maybe. And I'm just going to roll back a loop. And this is spinning, so it makes it a little hard. Let me get in there. Goodness, there we go. Okay, so just like that. So this loop matches that loop pretty closely. I'm going to make sure it's closed up really good. And there we have it. Okay, so there's our little centerpiece. Now, what I want to do over here is I thought about using tiger tail, but I may use tiger tail on this end, but I think I'm going to make links over here because the necklace is all links. So I kind of want to mimic that. So I may nix the tiger tail. We'll see. But I am going to make some links. I do know that on this side. So let's see. First off, I think we're just going to alternate. We're going to do an alternating pattern. Now, I have a small wrist, so I'm never able to use very many beads, okay? So this is what we're going to do. I'm going to, there we go. I'm going to do this just alternating pattern like this. Yep, that'll work perfect. Okay, so I'm going to have, these are just going to look like they're zigzagging, the little beads are. And I am going to use some of these little spacers in between. Okay, so let's see. I will do the jade bead here, 2 spacers. This is an agate bead, sorry. This jade bead, 2 spacers. And the other agate bead on here, okay? So there's a link, and I'm just going to make a loop, just like I did on the other one, 90 degrees on my clippers. And then we're going to take our round nose pliers and just roll this little loop back. And you do want to make sure these close up really well. I know we're going to be opening them and closing them again, but I don't know. I just like to make sure they're closed up really good. So there's one. So for this one, I'm going to do basically the same thing, just alternate the beads. So we'll do the jade bead first, the 2 spacers, the little agate bead, the 2 spacers, and the jade bead. Okay, just like that. I've got fuzz stuck to my thumb from the glue I used. I used super glue. My E6000 is packed somewhere, who knows where. And so I had to use super glue, which I do not like using on jewelry, but I didn't have any choice. And by the way, we closed on our house, the sale of our house yesterday, so it is official. We have actually sold our house. So now, if we can just close on the buy of the new house, we'll be doing good. All right. Okay, so this side, we're going to do basically the same thing, just in reverse. So we're going to do the jade bead, the 2 spacers, the small agate bead, the 2 spacers, and the jade bead. Okay, just like that. 90-degree angle here. Cut this off. And roll the loop back. I'm trying to talk a little louder. I'm always getting complaints from people about not talking loud enough, and then I have other people that say they can hear me perfectly, so I don't know. I think it has a lot to do with your phone, because I really talk pretty much the same all the time. So I think some people's phone just isn't as loud, maybe? I don't know, but I'm trying to talk a little louder in this video. But it's hard to remember that when you're doing other things. When you're sitting here creating jewelry, it's kind of hard to remember to talk loud, and the microphones don't work. I don't care what anybody says. I've got one. It makes absolutely no difference in my videos. So, okay, there we go. So this is how that's going to go, and I like that. I think that's really pretty. Okay, so now let's do the other end, and I'm not going to use the tiger tail on it either. We're just not going to fool with the tiger tail today. It's just too much trouble. So I'm not in the mood. All right, so this one, I'm going to do 3 spacers, the big jade bead, and 3 more spacers on this other end, just like that. And I'm going to make 2 possibly 3 of these, depending on how long this ends up being with 2. Because you got to account for the clasp too, so. That's a little long. Let me trim that down just a tad bit more. There we go. Well, get a hold of it, Wendy. There we go. Okay. I'm going to do a couple more of these. So 3 of these spacers. I believe these are hematite, if I'm not mistaken. They came from Michael's. I got them when they had their $2.99, all their strung beads for $2.99. And I love these kind of little metal beads. I always look when they do those big sales for little small metal beads. And I did get a bunch. I got these. I got some gold ones that I used in this other necklace the other day. That's the strand that went with it. But these all came together. And I got them in silver. And I got them in matte gold. I thought this was really pretty, this matte. The hematite, these little hematite guys. I picked up 2 of the silver because I use tons of silver beads. These are bead caps, and I got these because I never have enough antique copper. So I picked those up, these rose gold flat spacer beads. And I think that's it. But I got all these when Michael's had all their strung beads for $2.99 because the metal beads are expensive, so it's a pretty good deal. And I always look at Michael's and Joann's when they do the big bead sales. I always try to get the metal beads because, like I said, they're expensive and it's nice to have them. I use them all the time. Now, this is a jacked up little eye pin here, but we're going to make the best of it. Okay, here we go. Roll this back. There's our second link. Yeah, it's definitely going to need 3 because I think, let me measure this. My wrist is like 6 1/4 inches. Whoops. So I always get my bracelets either too long or too short. See, we're already at 6 inches. I mean, it just goes by so fast. Okay, so I wanted to add more beads, but it's not going to happen. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take these 2 jump rings over here and I'm going to hook them to the toggle. And then I'm just going to take one of the jump rings over here and hook the toggle on with it. Actually, I may have to do a couple with this toggle because sometimes toggles will not go through the bar if you have a bead too close. We'll see. And then the rest of these I'm just going to hook together themselves. Normally, I don't like to hook these links to each other because I feel like it makes them hard to move around. I like them to be a little more, have more movement, but I don't want to get a lot of extra, I don't want to get a lot of extra space going on. So, and I am going to have to hook these with a jump ring too because they're 2 strands down to 1. So, all right, so let's open this jump ring. And here's another trick for the newbies because I did a video the other day for all the newbies. Let me show you how to open a jump ring the correct way. You take your pliers and you twist like this. You do not pull it open, okay? Don't do that. That's bad. All right, so we're going to take this jump ring. I'm going to hook both of these onto it and hook it to the main focal bead. Then I'm going to close it up. You want to make sure this gets closed really well. And these jump rings are thick. I like them. I think they're pretty, but man, they're hard to close. So let me just manhandle it here a second. Woo, there we go. I think I got it. Okay. So see, that's going to make these guys lay like they need to lay. And then I'm going to hook these 2 together, just themselves. I'm not going to hook a jump ring in the middle. Normally I would, let me say that. But because I need this not to be very much longer than it's already going to be, it may already not fit me. I don't know that I'll keep this one though. So it probably would fit somebody with a normal size wrist. So you know how that goes. My wrist is just really, really tiny. Okay, so we're going to attach this one on too. Just like this. Make sure these are closed up really well. Okay, now here's what we've got. So let me look at this. If I attach these both to this jump ring and attach this guy to this jump ring, he's going to lay the wrong way. So I'm going to have to use 2 rings down here in order. Am I? Let's put these on and see. Sometimes I have to see it, guys. I can't envision it in my mind sometimes until I actually see it laid out, which is a detriment sometimes, but all right, so if we put this jump ring on here, and then we put him on, he is going to hang sideways. But if I use another jump ring, yeah, that would make him lay flat. Okay, let's do it. So we're going to put this jump ring on, we're going to put this jump ring on. Let me close this up. Okay, so here's what we've got. Yeah, so now when we put him on, it's going to lay the right way. And I didn't really want to use this many jump rings, or this many big jump rings. We'll see. I mean, we'll see how it goes. There's the opening right there, I think. Where is the opening? It's in the back. It's hard to see it on these twisted jump rings because they're faceted a little bit, or patterned. I don't know how you want to say that, but they're hard to see. Okay, now we've got some craziness going on here. Let me fix this. Come on now. I don't have time for you to act like this. Let me fix this. This is what I mean by these getting bound up. There we go. See, they just don't always lay perfectly. And that's okay because it's going to bend right here around the wrist, and it's going to be fine. Even though it looks like it's kind of, spacing apart, it's going to be fine once you get it on. But I don't want it to be bound up. And just when you put them together with jump rings, they don't do that. But I just don't have the room right now. So with bracelets, I can't really have that luxury. Okay. All right, so there we go. That makes our toggle lay flat. Everything's good, except for, how long are we already? We're already at 5 inches, so let's go ahead and put this on. Now this one I'm just going to hook directly to it because we're not reducing from 2 to 1 strand. So I can do that on this side. So I'm just going to hook it directly onto my focal piece. And I like to keep everything laying flat when I hook these things together. So I don't really pick it up and do it. I try to keep it laid flat and do this. And it just helps everything to maintain its, how you want it to be. All right, so we're going to put this other guy on here. I'm going to hook him to him. Close it up. Make sure it's closed up real good. I just got a text. I just looked here real quick at, they're still working on my website. So if you try to get on my website and it's down, that's why. It's being transferred to a new platform. It's going to be a lot better, but right now it's just having a lot of issues. So, yeah. I hate that. I hate for it to be down and people not to be able to order, but it'll be better once we get it going. All right, let's see here. I needed more room on that jump ring. Come on, buddy. Shouldn't have to bend you completely. I should have just opened the other ring, but I didn't. All right, there we go. That's better. Okay, got that together. All right, so here we have it. Now, if I put the toggle directly on here, which I kind of would like to be able to do, let me see what the length is now. Yeah, it's right at about 7 inches, which is good for most people. But I don't know if the toggle's going to go through the bar. Let's just try it and see. Sometimes that is a difficulty with toggles. They just won't, the bar won't go through the ring if it doesn't have a little more space between it and your beads, but we'll see. Is this not going to go on? There we go. Yeah, I was going to say, better go on there. Okay. Let me close this one up. Okay. Now, let's see if it'll go through. So, yeah, it does. Perfect. Okay, but one thing that I do see is this side over here is way longer than this side. So we've got 4 inches of the bracelet, or 3 1/4 over here. And over here, we've got like 1 1/2. So that's not really good, because when you put your bracelet on, it's going to make it lopsided unless you know, it's not going to sit exactly right on your wrist. So I am, because of that, because I didn't measure very well, apparently. That was my issue. And I got these too long over here and this one too short. So what I am going to do is I'm going to add the other jump ring in here. That will help it just a tad. So let's go ahead and put this other jump ring in. If I hadn't have had to hook all those jump rings, hook those on with the jump rings, or if I'd have used smaller jump rings, it would have been better. And I could actually go back and take this other one apart here and use smaller jump rings. I could do that if I wanted to. You know, and if it seems to be a massive problem, I will. But let's see how this looks. Find the opening in this thing. Let's see how this looks. Yeah, it's on the bottom. With just this extra jump ring added in, because it does give it just a little bit more real estate. And it's okay if it's not perfectly the same on both sides. These kind of bracelets, you know, they can have a little bit of room for forgiveness that way, but you don't want it to be off like 2 inches. So let's see how this helps it. That does help it a little bit. Okay, so it makes it, actually, does this fit me? You gotta be kidding. Actually, this does fit me, so I'm actually going to add one more ring over here, because if it fits me, it's not going to fit anybody else. It's going to be too small, and I think I am going to sell this one. So let's just add another one on, and that'll make it just right. Okay. And I do realize, before somebody points out to me, that I could have just opened this jump ring. Yes, I get it. I know. Life's been kind of stressful the last week or so, so I'm not thinking totally straight all the time, but it's been a little bit crazy. We're moving, we're buying, we're selling, my website's down, work's crazy, so yeah, it's been a little stressful. All right, so here we have it. That's better. Yeah, much better. Okay, so when you put this on, even though this little bead will spin, and this fits me really perfectly, which is just amazing. I can never get these on by myself, though. Sometimes I can do a lobster. Rarely can I do a toggle. I usually lay my arm down here. Here we go. I might be able to get it. And try to fight with it till I get it on. Okay, there we go. So that actually fits me really well. I may add another one just so somebody else can wear it. But I like it. It looks really good. I love this. And see, I've got some fuzz on here from the bead mat. I'll get that off and the glue. But yeah, I think it looks really good. It matches great with this necklace and with this earring, even though I didn't use any chain in it. I thought about using some chain, but I think we're good. It's close enough. And now my earring's wanting to act crazy on film. Behave yourself. You're being, yeah, there we go. The whole world's watching you. Okay, so the earring, I think, even though I didn't use any chain, I still think that the bracelet, the set goes well together. So yeah, I like this one. Turned out pretty good. I'm almost finished with the bargain bead box. I've got like just a few more beads. I'm probably going to do maybe another bracelet out of it. So stay tuned for that. If you haven't subscribed to Bargain Bead Box, but you would like to, I'll have all the information in the description box below, and I do have a coupon code for $2 off your first month subscription box, or $2 off your purchase in their store. And you can use it over and over in their store, I believe. So, all right, guys, thanks so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.